So there's this biologist, Robert Sapolsky, and he thinks everything about human beings can be reduced to studying their behavior, right? Reduced to behavior. He doesn't believe in free will. I don't have a problem with that. I think, first of all, determinism is not a scientific theory. It's a philosophical theory, meaning you can't falsify it. Right? So, if you're arguing on the basis of, hey, these facts prove my philosophical theory, that's not how that works. Right? Science is science because you can do an experiment and find out what you think is false. You can't experiment on determinism. You can't figure out whether or not reality is deterministic through an experiment. Any experiment you do corroborate the belief that, see, look, I knew this would happen. If what you said happened, you would say, see, look, I knew this would happen. Then if it didn't, you would say, well, that's just because I didn't know. But that is how it goes, and therefore it's still determined. It's dangerous for a scientist to think that way. Not even necessarily for their research, but for the people who follow them, who don't understand. I'll say they don't understand the limits of scientific inquiry. We cannot measure everything. We don't have the tools now to measure a lot of things, to test a lot of theories that we currently have. Even still, some things are not measurable in and of themselves. So I have a problem with that. Also, in a lot of his lectures, it seems like he's searching. It's like confirmation bias. He's searching for a reason to prove something is true. It's not the scientific method, Rob. Interesting work though. He talks about watched a couple lectures. What did he talk about? He's talking about schizotypal personality disorder. So the reason some people are schizophrenic and how they pass their genes on, like what purpose that served. That was interesting. That was very interesting. He just doesn't think any of our decisions are made as. Explain how we discovered whatever. I think he also conflates economic data with scientific data to prove his points. He's talking about how your stress levels of stress hormone in your bloodstream are predetermined by your socioeconomic status. But it's like, what's the baseline for that? Who are you taking as the baseline? And again, are you falsifying? Are you devising experiments that can be falsified? You're not just saying, see, look at these people's stress hormones, and look at those. These are higher. They're poorer. They have more money. Theirs are lower. I have a problem with that. Again, if you acknowledge that there are things that we don't know, maybe there are other factors that we don't know that are genetic that don't relate to socioeconomic status, Rob. What would you say to that? So talk about personality disorder was interesting, though. If that just being a way some people interface with society, by kind of being like a little different. Talked about how like Martin Luther basically created his version of Catholicism by being more OCD than other people. It's interesting when he talks about the meaning of behaviors versus the behaviors themselves, and how behaviors will spread to people, even though they may not mean anything in and of themselves, and how the fealty of a person doing a behavior, like how good a person is at doing a behavior, could be the very thing that makes that person, better than someone else at a certain job or whatever. Like he was saying, preachers or religious people historically were better at doing or performing, religiosity than actually knowing the word or the law. That was in the book. Whatever. There's no truth to that. Scientists these days study charisma and business people and stars and whatnot. And a lot of them find that they don't know much more or whatever, do much more than other people. But it's sort of subtle biochemical, physical signals that they give off that result in them being seen as more charismatic or attractive or important than other people. Basically, much of life, much of human life, primate life, animal life is cyclical. Look at the handicap principle in peacocks. Sexual selection theory. There's a lot there. I take it as a be skeptical. You may think something in the moment today about a person or yourself. That may just be a reflection of appearances, right? Rather than reality.